just reminiscing about last week's post-show banter.
A great post-show banner for the books, everybody, because if you're not a Patreon subscriber, you don't know this, but we had Johnny's fantastic brother-in-law on, and we had Johnny's fantastic brother on for the actual show, but they had complete opposite opinions about whether or not we should change the name. And what's funny is that Phil, your brother-in-law, sat there for like an hour listening to.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but he was a spectator during the recording.
Our first ever live audience. By the way, no laughs. I don't remember hearing one laugh.
Well, he was on his phone most of the time.
Oh, great. I like him less. But what's funny is
I was jealous of him.
That's so funny you bring that up, because as comedians, sometimes you do a show and you see somebody like on their phone, you're like, God, that's so rude, this is my art. But there have been shows where literally you're like, God, that would be nice to just be able to fucking check out right now.
Yeah, just scroll away, baby.
I've probably told this story before, but I did a gig one time at a Hooters casino in Seattle. It's like the south part of Seattle. And they had no one show up to the gig. Like, it was me and this guy named Owen Straw, and I guess we were co-headlining or something. But I was going first, I know that. And literally no people, to the point where we were like, so we're just canceling the show, right? And the manager came out. I was like, yeah, it's probably the best idea. So she's like, well, we tried, but we'll see you around. And then Owen was like, okay, cool. Well, where do we get paid? She's like, well, no, we're canceling the show. And Owen was like, that's not how it works. Like, you brought us out here, whether or not we do the show, you got to pay us, Yeah. She's like, oh, let me go back and talk. So she was really mad. She goes back to the office. She comes back like, okay, well, we're not going to pay you. I mean, if you want to do the show, we'll pay you, but we're not going to pay you if you don't do the show. So we had to do the show and when I say literally no people, I mean literally 0 audience members, not one ancillary person in the crowd, except for the staff, the most pissed off staff I've ever seen, because they kept the bartenders.
Yep. Because we're making no tips.
We're making no money. So they kept them on. And then I did the show, and they were going around turning off TVs before the show started, and the Mariners game was on. I was like, no, leave that on. I want to watch
while you're doing
while I'm up here reciting my act.
Huh? That's great. That's great.
So, but it is, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Phil, completely opposite opinion. Yeah. So now I've never been more torn than ever if we should change the name.
Yeah, he was pretty adamant. You guys change it.
I feel like you don't want to change it.
I mean, yeah, I will if that's what the verdict is that we should do, but I like the name, and I think people are it's not our fault they're stupid. Not you, dear listener, not you, the non-listeners that came up to me after the show and said, "What, that's a religious, like, why is it named after religion?" Those are who I'm talking to.
What if that's the new name? It's not our fault you're stupid.
because if you listen to most episodes, sometimes we do come across pretty stupid ourselves.
We make a few errors along the way.
Yeah.
Fortunate errors.
I think 2 dipshits is a little more fitting than
2 dipshits.
You're stupid.
All right. Well, the debate rages on. Meanwhile, inertia usually wins out, I will say.
Meaning that it's gonna
meaning that to change the name, it takes effort. Someone actually has to do it. And so
We
I'd
will.
be like, we could both be like 99% like, yeah, this name sucks. And we probably still wouldn't do it just because somebody would have to go in, type the new name, and get a new logo.
Yeah, that's you know what? Yes, that's true. But we would do it. We would do it.
We would
We're
do it.
professionals. If
Who would?
that's what it comes down to,
Who's, who we?
well, you would on the Buzzsprout thing, and then I would on the mule sticker shit
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
And good.
Kyle, if you're listening, I do have a bag of swag in my passenger side door, just waiting for me to drive by a post office.
Somebody wants it, claim it. I no, we would because look, we joke about being lazy, but come on, man. Sure, we're lazy, but like also we do it every week. It
Yeah,
gets
you don't
out.
get 3 years under your belt being lazy.
We have a background, you know.
Yeah. We haven't missed a week, right? I mean, we've been late when there was glitches we were unaware of, but we
Only due
haven't
to
missed a week.
only due to technical error, self-imposed technical errors. But other than
Not
that,
even self-imposed.
yeah, well, it's almost every time my fault. But uh but it's been recorded by the day that it had, you know what I mean? Like we've never
Yes.
like just fucked it up, like flubbed it or said, screw it, we're not doing it this week.
Yeah. Even if we're on cruise
Where's our,
ships, even if we're out at a
yeah,
Taco Bell.
where's our medal?
Yeah, exactly. Where's our GD medal?
Oh shit. You know where I'm at right now? The worst place in the world to be. Palm Springs, California. It's 117 degrees.
Oh, ouch.
We're doing demo on our rental house that me and my brothers and parents.
Yeah, what why are you doing demo? Last time you were like putting tiles down, right?
Yeah, good point. Well,
Now you're destroying it?
yeah. Now I'm destroying all my hard work. Well, we're actually doing the kitchen and the living room. So the where I put my stenciling down, it wasn't tiles. It was just like
Oh,
fake
that's right.
paint, not fake paint, actual paint, but not tile.
Yeah, you're
In the
stenciling.
back on the back patio. So this is we're like doing some hardcore remodeling on the kitchen and the living room and the back bedroom to turn into 2 bedrooms. But let me tell you something about, like, you don't watch like HGTV. Do you ever watch HGTV? Is that a Johnny show at
Getting
all?
boring in my life.
No, no, not
I would
once.
rather read a book.
Oh my God. The worst condemnation anyone could ever give anything. That's your I wouldn't wish it on my own worst enemy is I would
Yeah.
rather read a book.
Yeah. I would rather better myself. Ugh.
It is not great current. I used to watch it a lot, but now I see it for what it is. But a common thing on those HGTV shows is like, oh, it's demo day. Oh, we're gonna demo, and then the host or whatever has these oversized safety glasses and a sledgehammer, and they take like 2 swings at some drywall and put a hole in it. Go, wow, this is fun. Hey, I'm getting my aggression out. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that feels good. And then they fucking cut to it's all done. But they didn't do that. They just took their 2 swings and then like brought in the day laborers or whatever, and they did the real work. Because let me tell you something, it sucks. It's hard, dusty, awful work. That I stepped on a nail twice today,
God.
fucking straight on through like I'm wearing sneakers because I don't have like actual boots or whatever.
Yeah.
Straight through, draws blood into my foot. I had to call my doctor to see if I had a tetanus shot. Just that shit sucks.
What did he say?
Huh?
What did the doctor say?
I don't know. No. I've had a tetanus.
I don't know. I hung up before he answered. Fuck.
This is like, put me on hold. No, I've had a tetanus shot, so I was fine.
Okay.
But the point is that demo day, the whole like glorification of it, we can go ahead and stop doing that. That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's horrible, dusty shit work. And it's not like it'd be one thing if you're just like tearing down the whole house. You're like, who cares? Bang, bang, bang. Oh, this fell over. But when you're like, you have to preserve certain areas, you have to like carefully pull this fucking nail out and this thing. It's like, oh my God, this is torture. Because I have the technology to just cut all of this down and like, you know what I mean? We physically, but it's like torture to have to like use an old fashioned pry bar and hammer
Yeah, yeah.
to pull out this one part when you know you could just like easily take a a sawzall to it or whatever and cut the whole house down.
What? But you just don't have a sawzall?
No, we
What is a sawzall?
it saws all.
That's why it's called a sawzall.
It's an S
What
A
does it look like?
Z A L L. It's kind of has it's like a big sort of shotgun looking thing, but on the end of it is a long rugged metal blade,
That like goes
and the blade
like
goes up.
this.
No, it goes back and forth. It looks like I'm
Okay.
jacking off the Zoom screen now, but it goes back and forth.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, once I said that,
Oh, the old jack off tool. Sure.
oh, the old jack off motion. So basically, you're jacking off boards and nails, and
Sure.
yeah, and it saws all. It saws through anything.
Do you get frustrated? Like you have watched that stuff. Do you get frustrated at how like easy they make it look?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But you're more of a handyman. Like you are doing all this stuff for this house. If that was Johnny Beaner's house and Johnny Beaner's family's house, there would be hired expensive people doing every single thing that you have done.
Yeah, but what I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit because you've done a lot of the stuff, and I'm not good. I wouldn't even say I'm good at it, but this was like, so we hired a contractor to do like this work, right?
Yeah.
But then we only have so much money set aside to do the work. So then they were like, well, you could save money by doing the demo yourself. And then of course my brothers are all in on this too, and they're like, yeah, well, I'll go down there and do the demo. Well, it's me and my dad. That's it.
They're like, hey, let's just do it ourselves, save
Yeah,
some dollars.
no.
I can't make it. You and dad do it. Well,
So
you know what? That's good bonding time, right?
yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's been good bonding.
Getting your aggression out.
Yeah, we're getting our aggression out, I guess. But just that would be a pre-show banter topic, is just demo day. Quit glorifying demo day. How about a somber, like, hey, it's 117 degrees. Someone has to do this. This shit sucks. Okay. It's not fun. It's hard work. And if you ever have construction on your house and you pay someone to do this, how about you just recognize, like, they're not out there having a great time knocking your kitchen cabinets down.
Yeah, they're stepping on nails.
You're stepping on nails. Oh, it's like Home Alone. It's like not hilarious though. No one
Like
shows
Home
the
Alone,
part,
but not hilarious.
no one shows the part where Daniel Stern has to wash his foot off in the bathroom with Purell. He's scared he's gonna get an infection. No, that part isn't in the movie.
Yeah, that's in the director's cut.
That's in the director's cut.
Well, I got some pre-show topic for us. Holy cow! Bit of a somber note. Last night had to take the old both dogs, Batman and Greg, to the ER.
Oh no!
About 4 o'clock. Phoebe opened a 4.5 pound bag of Costco peanut butter or not chocolate chips, just chocolate chips. Dumped it on the ground. Batman went to town. Greg ate some too. Both, I mean, and unbeknownst to us, I only know this because I watched it on the ring cam, today after all this went down. So they're eating it. So Aaron's gone. I get home and we had hired Zero Res to clean our carpets before we had company,
Uh-huh.
Black vomit just everywhere. Like I'm like Greg barfs on the carpet. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm cleaning it up, and it looks like shit. I just made it way worse and bigger. And then he does it again. I'm like, are you shit? And then he does it upstairs. I'm like, oh my god. And then Duncan and Edie are like, oh yeah, he ate a bunch of chocolate. He ate a bunch of chocolate before Bob went to yoga. He must have eaten it off the floor. And I was like, what? And so Aaron gets home. I tell them he's just vomiting. I mean, they're like, everything you look up online is like, how many ounces? It depends on their weight and their ounces.
I've
It's
done this
highly
before.
poisonous.
Yeah.
We call, they're like, how many ounces? And we had to be like, 3 pounds. Oh, you need to bring them in. So like, and it's, I mean, at this point, it's like 8 or 9. And so Aaron gets him in the thing, and I mean, Batman's like, shit. It was awful. So she takes them, and they're trying. I feel weird saying this on the podcast because some people might be like, well, you pay $5,000 if you have to. You know, they said it's $1,500 per dog to hospitalize them overnight, and so we were like, well, we can't afford that, so just do what you can here, and we'll watch them and bring them home. So they did this under the skin IV, all this stuff, and brought him home. Greg was fine pretty quickly. He's very young, he's like less than 2. But Batman's, I mean, he's a 12-year-old pug. He's already got plenty of issues, and so he had a pretty rough night. I think he got like a bunch of medicine, and he's better. He's better now. He's not through the woods, but
God.
he's better. But like, so anyway, so I was like, okay, that was a nightmare. 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, and it smells like human vomit and shit. I'm like, what the hell? I turn on the lights. Shit all over our bedroom, the walls, on the furniture. Like Batman just shit all over, and so that was just awful. Trying
Oh,
to think of how to end this story. He's okay now, but like, oh my god. Oh, so then we had to call Zero Res today, and they were like, oh, we had a fallout, and they came like, because this was like, it was like cake frosting, just mash. It was like nothing will get this, and somehow this company, this is Zero Res, is the sponsor for this week. They got it lickety split. I mean, they got it out.
wait, did you just try to snap your fingers?
I did snap. Did it not read?
I feel like you just like phantom snap. You just
Oh,
like,
maybe the mic didn't pick it up.
oh, okay, yeah.
But anyway, so it's clean now. Batman's okay, but it was like, whoo, man, that was a scare. We were prepping.
So 1,500 is your number, huh?
Well, we ended up, it's like we ended up paying, it's just 220 just to bring him in the door.
I know that,
And
yeah.
we did get medicine, so it was like we ended up paying 750.
But like you weren't put to the actual test because I think the actual test is like, look, we can save your dogs, like because the implication is like best we keep them here, but
Uh-huh.
we given them the medicine,
Right.
take them home, and
Yeah,
all.
it was not. Yeah, it was not.
It
It was
wasn't
not.
like
We weren't pulling the plug.
it wasn't like. But what would be interesting is the like, hey, your dog has been injected with this poison. The antidote is X amount.
Right.
Do you want to pay? And that is like the most horrible. And my wife can never, because she's one of those people where there isn't a number. They could bankrupt us. They honestly
Yeah.
bankrupt us. Like it's just probably good that there's not dog cures that cost like $200,000. I hope, because my wife sort of go, well, we'll sell the house and that's like a horribly vulnerable position to be in. And I used to pay for that stupid
Pet insurance.
insurance. We talked about that, right? Like it's such a scam. Have,
I may be changing my tune. Why did we say it was a scam?
because
Because they don't cover anything?
it never covers anything.
Oh yeah, then yeah, it's a scam.
Yeah. But I was like, man, I should have it because like what if we're ever put to one of those situations, and because she would pay anything, I basically will have to lie to her at some point because she also doesn't like taking the dog to the vet. I'm gonna have to make my own call and be like, yeah, they said there's nothing we can do, and just been like, I left that $25,000 option on the table. I can't bring it to her.
If they, yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. But like, if they had said he will not make it through the night,
Yeah, then you would have
but
paid.
he for sure will if we keep him here. Yeah, then we, I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot.
If I'm Batman, I don't like the sound of. That's not a reassuring answer for me.
As I was saying that, I was like, well, he's 12. I mean, their lifespan is what, 12 to 15.
I know. I know. Part of you want to be like, okay, I'll pay the 1,500, but he's got to live 2 more years. Like if he died
Yeah.
in the next 2 years, you got to pay me back like 1,000. I think that's
Yeah. That's fair.
like the NFL contracts work like that, where they're like, okay, we'll trade for Aaron Rodgers, right? We'll give you 2 first-round picks, but if he retires in the next year, we got to get one of those first rounders back. Like that's not fair, you know?
But how does that work? If that's how it works, so let's say he does retire, then do they get the first round pick guy, or do they
No,
get
they
to
just
pick
get the pick.
earlier in the next draft?
They would just get that pick back, the second one. But I don't even know if that's the way they structured the deal. That was a hypothetical. I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not sure how they traded Aaron Rodgers. I can't remember what they got for him, but
Okay.
I think there is like some performance they can do that,
It's like
which seems right,
hedging their bet.
hedging their bet exactly. But that's fair. Nobody wants to be like absolutely screwed on a trade. Both
Yeah.
have to be kind of equal. You would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But oh well, I'm glad to hear both dogs are okay and your carpets have zero res. What?
It's insane. I actually, you know what? I think it was after, I don't know if it was when I moved or before I moved, but I did. Yeah, it must have been right when I moved to LA. I did a ad for Zero Res. And they offered, they're like, it's so unbelievable. We want to clean your house for free. Yeah, it was after we moved to LA. Because I was like, oh, we have an apartment. We don't give a shit. Like, and they're like, oh, okay, never mind. But they were gonna like do it for free for our whole house just so I could really from the heart sell it. But we lived in an apartment, so I didn't care. So I passed.
Oh, well, I've never even heard of zero res. Does that imply like zero res means like no reservation? Like you just call them up?
No, it's a palindrome. Zero res. Same backwards as forwards.
Okay, but what is
Well, they because it's ionized water. There's no detergents. This really is turning into a sponsor spot, but it's like they don't use carpet cleaner. It's literally this high powered ionized water that blasts in and pulls the stain out. So it's not like covering it up. It's like pulling it out, and it like totally works.
so it's not with a Z, it's an S.
It's a Z at the beginning and at the
Oh,
end.
and res,
Zero res.
REZ.
Yeah.
Oh, like the res. Oh,
Yeah.
really inappropriate. Well, I'll have to try it, except we don't have carpet, so I probably won't.
Nice.
Okay, good.
You
Zero.
can't hear you can't hear the machine, can you, over there?
No, that's
Okay.
why those mics are great. See, I run my dryer during our podcast. No one ever picks it up.
Nice.
Yeah. Dude, I'm at this hotel, so the whole house is torn up to the point where I can't stay there. So I'm at this. I found this place. Have you ever heard of? I'll look it up because I'm so curious. But I found it. It was $75 a night. I was like, oh God, that's gonna be horrible. But I can't really afford to be spending extra money on a hotel right now. but it's called Sonder. You ever heard of Sonder?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Snder.
don't they do like extended stay? Yeah, they do like extended stay type lodging.
Well, okay, I didn't know that, but the way it works is like you don't. There's nobody working here, so like
Right.
it's a hotel. It's like got a pool and it's a nice, really nice room and everything's clean and super nice. But then like you get a code to get in to the building, and then you get a code to get into your room, and there's
Yeah.
no. It's like it does feel like we like just a bunch of people just sort of took over this place. Like there's no
Yeah,
employees.
I've heard of that.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah,
was
if your toilet starts flooding, what do you do? Call an emergency
you,
number?
you gotta plunge it, I guess. I mean, that's what I mean. Like you're kind of think that's the trade-off. I think there is a number to call if like you need something, but I'm just sort of obsessed with the idea that like I could do whatever I want. Fucking burn this place. No one can stop me.
Yeah.
Because like I get that. I don't know if you get that feeling, but like still I talked about it last week about like the dogs and stuff, like checking into hotels. But I like
Yeah.
there is like a feeling of like, oh, someone's in charge and someone's looking at what I'm bringing in and out or whatever. But it's just really
Yeah.
this idea that like, oh, we're on our own, you know. I'm like looking
Yeah.
at people like
You're a big kid now.
I'm a big kid. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. But Sonder, this podcast is
On
brought to you by Zero Res and Sonder, and those are totally sound like companies that would sponsor a podcast
called the Cavalry.
called the Cavalry for now.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so we had all our family visiting last week and they left Thursday. They left Thursday night, went to Milwaukee for 2 days, then flew home Sunday. And then Sunday, I think Sunday night or afternoon, we get a text from both families that stayed with us. Hey, we all had tested positive for COVID.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And me and Aaron tested and negative. So we must have gotten very lucky. Or
That
they caught it after they left our house.
yeah, that happened. So my kid's daycare teacher tested positive for COVID, so she canceled the whole week of daycare, which is like really rough for Heidi because I'm gone, doing
Yeah.
so. But then also, then my dad's friend, they were at like this party before they came down here, and this like 89-year-old guy had him out at this cabin in Woodby Island, and he tested positive. So I feel like it is like going around right now, which is weird because it's July or whatever. But I feel like, but it's a thing where anecdotally, I feel like, wow, a bunch of people are getting COVID right now, but nobody gives a shit. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
nobody.
most of them are asymptomatic.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever version this is, I don't think anybody is worried about it. But it's still that's the shitty part. Is like you could have the sniffles, but then you still feel like, oh fuck, I have to call everybody I've ever met in the last 2 weeks and like notify them like you have,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
slept.
And then they still have to stay home. They can't leave because they're, being responsible. And it's just like, it sucks, but at least no one's
So
dying.
do you think, well, one, do you think it'll ever happen? And then two, if you do think it'll happen, when will it get to that point? But will COVID get to the point of a normal disease where you don't notify people when you've contracted it?
What do you mean? Like what's an example of that?
Okay, if you got a cold
Yeah.
and you tested, maybe you even tested for COVID, but it came back negative, you wouldn't, even though you have and let's say it's a pretty bad cold, you
Yeah.
would call all your friends and family that you've seen in the last 2 weeks and say, hey, by the way, just
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got a cold. But you would
Yeah.
do it if it were COVID, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
So will COVID ever get to the point where because it's funny that like everyone still has these tests. I feel like these tests are still left over from like a year ago.
Years ago. Yeah.
Because I was at the drugstore and I saw a COVID test on the shelf and it was fucking covered in dust. I was like, they couldn't give this
Yeah.
COVID test away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny you ask that because like my side of the family, the Beaners, you can't have a get together without
An illness.
someone getting sick or And so I feel like even with a cold, people do. They're like, "Hey, I got a cold. Does everyone else have a cold?" Like,
They give the report back. Yeah.
yeah, just
Well, because
because.
if you get norovirus, then you probably tell people you're like, oh no, don't come near me. I'm sick,
Yeah,
throwing up. But it's just funny, these COVID symptoms are feel like they're getting like light enough. Like everyone I've heard of who've had COVID in the last like few months.
yeah,
And it is kind of like funny that we are still, locking.
yeah.
But I
Well,
guess
yeah. It's just changed so much, right? I don't know if everyone's
it
just
just feels like it's changed.
immunity's built up or yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And I saw a graph where if like the like just deaths in America, like there's like a certain number of deaths that we used to average every year, not counting COVID or anything, just like all deaths. And you
yeah.
can see when COVID was bad because just the amount of deaths went way up and it was like unexplained. You're like, well, why are there more deaths this year why was there more deaths in 2021 than there was in 2020, right? Well, it's like obviously COVID was bad or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's back down, just number of deaths in the country is back down to a pre-COVID level.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, don't you think it's because of
immunity, it's because
vaccines?
everybody's had it.
Yeah.
If you had it and you survived, now you kind of, you know, I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. I think literally everybody's gotten it at least once. Or and even if you're like one of those people like, I never got it. It's like you fucking had it and you just didn't,
Yeah. You just didn't know.
you
That's
know,
true. You know what? Honestly, I wouldn't have known. I would think I never had it either if I didn't test.
yeah, yeah,
Because
exactly.
my daughter had it, so I was like, oh, I got to test, and then I had it, and I was asymptomatic, so I wouldn't know either.
So exactly. That's
Ooh, man, we're getting like borderline political on the cavalry this week.
science, baby.
Right, science.
All
Oh
right,
yeah,
let's get into topics.
let's do it.
What do you need backup on,
All
Johnny?
right, now this. Oof. All right, this is how. I'd like to separate this from the pre-show banter. I love my dog. Okay, let's just put that out there. But let me say, and I'm not saying this because I don't like dogs. I like my dogs. But if you are a person that doesn't like dogs, that does not mean you're an asshole. It's
Mm,
totally acceptable to be a person that doesn't like dogs. And I just think it's unfair when people are, people find out, oh, you're not a dog person. Oh,
well,
like,
red flag. If you don't like dogs, that's a red flag,
yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair. Not fair. Have you ever seen that shirt? Then you know what stroked what kind of stroked this fire for me is I saw someone had a T-shirt that said, "If you don't like dogs, I don't like you,"
Mm,
and I don't like that. I
I
wasn't asking. I don't give a fuck what you think of me, but now I don't like you because
yeah,
you're basing your opinion on me.
you should
I
make
don't
it
care if you like me. I don't like you regardless of if you like dogs, you fucking stupid asshole, dirty, dumb shirt wearing asshole.
that could
Right?
be a t-shirt, or that might be a little wordy.
You'd have to be standing next to the other guy for it to make sense.
A lot of words have to be, but or you could just say, if you don't like me because I don't like dogs, then I don't like you.
Right. That's yeah. See? How many shirts are you gonna sell? How many shirts are you gonna sell wearing that?
No, not many. Because most people like dogs. And that's where this is a tough one. This is what the cavalry's for, and you need backup. But I agree with you. It does seem insane to be like, I will say, like, I don't like cat, like That's not even fair. I do like
It's
cats.
not fair at all because people are like, oh, of course you don't like cats. No one does. They're stupid.
No. Well, some people love cats,
Right. I'm just saying it's society. It's like
Dogs are more
acceptable.
universally loved.
Yes, it's acceptable to not like cats as a person.
But do you think a lot of that is I think like I'm allergic to cats
Yep,
pretty severely and
me
like
too.
more people are allergic to cats than to dogs. It just I'm going to say that. I have no proof, but
Well,
I just
that's true. That sounds true.
anecdotally that's got to be true, right? More
Yeah,
people are allergic. So I swear to God, that's probably the primary reason why people like dogs more than cats is because there's just more of us who can't be around cats because
but
they're
people are allergic to dogs too.
yeah, but there's like but less. And there's like more hypoallergenic dogs. Like look at all these golden doodles now and
Yeah,
doodle
I know.
everything's a poodle mix because so many people are worried about the like
It's just, it's not fair. And I'm not saying, hey, look,
love
I'm
your
not saying that's me. I got two dogs. I've had dogs all my life, except for when I, you know, was single.
oh, oh
Growing up,
here,
I always had dogs,
here it
and
comes.
then when I met Aaron, no, we didn't always have dogs. Actually, yeah, Batman was our first dog.
Yeah.
Batman was our first dog. We got it 12 years ago.
I do find it interesting that your dogs just puked and shit all over your house, and now your take is like, hey, hating dogs isn't such a bad thing, Take it
That was why
hate dogs.
I prefaced, let's separate the two.
Okay. That
If anything, the balls I have to say this at this point, I could have waited till next week, be like, well, I'll let it cool down so it doesn't seem. But I'm being honest. I have two dogs. I was worried about my dogs.
yeah.
They made it. That well,
Despite
Batman, we'll see.
you
But
not hospitalizing them.
right. Well, that's financial. That's let's
Yeah.
no.
I think you're mad. You're mad at
I
people.
just don't. I think the audacity of someone to be like, oh, you don't like dog. Like, there's a guy I went to grade school with, and he was just that guy. Everyone knows the guy that goes to the party and he's playing with the fucking dog instead of the
Oh
humans.
yeah. Oh,
That's
now there's a
you.
yeah. Fuck that.
That's your personality. Is you like dogs more than people? Then go fucking live in a cave with dogs, idiot.
No, that's so true. And they like get on the ground with it and like
Yes.
in their face and rolling around. It's like, dude, you're an adult. Like this is not even your dog.
I
If
know.
it's
Oh,
your
but I love dogs. Well, fucking God.
yeah. But like if it like it would be even it would be just as weird like people like, oh, I love kids. So if it's your kid, yeah, you wrestle and give them a kiss and you hug and you say I love you. But if you just came over to somebody's house and you barely knew and their kid was like, oh, mommy, hey, you got a kid, and then you just start like fucking rubbing their hair and rolling around on the ground with them. I mean, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boundaries to other people's dogs. I agree with that.
And you're like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Oh, it's cool. I like kids. I'm a kid person.
I'm a kid
Okay.
person.
Ugh.
I do find it off-putting when people get way too like when I walk my dog and people stop and want to like pet your like if they say, "Oh, is it friendly?" You go, "Oh yeah, yeah." But then if it goes on and on and on and they're like get your own fucking dog. You know what I mean?
Oh, my dog's saying, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Trudy, that's rude.
Dirty.
Sorry about that.
Say that.
Don't say that.
Don't say it. Don't say they're ugly. Trudy. Don't say they're weird. Trudy.
Don't say they don't have boundaries. You
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
them.
She doesn't mean it.
Yeah, she's just basing it on your current behavior. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it's just something.
You know, another thing is like as a comedian, like jokes, like even if Bill Burr can do this. I mean, there's comedians like you have to really be in 100% to be the anti
No,
dog
no.
because you can lose. You can be the funniest person in the world, and if you say make a joke, where no dog's getting hurt, where you just acknowledge that you're not a dog person, people in the crowd could be like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
As
And
a person.
that's so true. And for years, that's why since like the 80s, all comedy is cats. You're right. Cats are weird. Cat it's a cat lady, the cat person. They have 8 cats. Cats are like this, dogs are like that. All comedy is like cats are bad, dogs are good.
Yep.
And living
It's
in that
safe.
universe, that's the safe. That's like the same thing as being like the man is stupid, the wife is smart, you know?
Yep.
That's the nice, safe, right down the middle.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Don't
Yep.
don't play with that. Don't if I were gonna give you any advice, don't go on stage with this anti-dog fucking shit. You're gonna be in big trouble.
I mean, and I have the bits, Aaron being the hippy dippy, and I talk about getting Batman and rescuing, and I was an old handicapped piece of shit dog. But like, I'm selling it. I'm not, if there's weakness, then they pounce. And I mean, even if there isn't weakness, people come up to the show, and be like, no,
Yeah.
no, that dog thing, you got it.
But
You should rescue.
what the extreme dog people will never admit, the only one I've ever seen actually say this out loud is Bill Maher. Bill Maher said out loud he would save animals over people. Like if like and that's what I feel like these extreme dog people really believe. It's like I think for my wife, if it was like the whole Batman thing and there's or there's his girlfriend on one side and Rob
Yeah.
on the other and you only have time to save one. If that was the
Yeah.
situation, it was like our dog or a
So
human
let's say, okay, so Heidi has to make the decision. It's Trudy on one side and who's on the other side.
a human stranger. Just
Okay.
to be any, she would save the dog. I am telling you, as as long as
Heidi would.
yes, as long as there were no legal repercussions, she would save
Mm-hmm.
the dog over the human stranger. Now,
What if it was? What if it was a child?
that's a good question. I thought you were gonna say, what if it was you?
No, that's. I mean, I would hope it would be you. But yeah, a stranger. You got to make it a stranger to be realistic.
Me, I was gonna say if it were you.
Oh, if it were me versus Trudy and Heidi had to pick.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Well, who would it be? Who do you think?
I think it would be you. I think it'd be you, but she would hate you forever.
Fucking yeah.
You
Yeah,
would.
she would save me, and then she'd be like, "Our relationship ends now."
In fact, you would probably wish she had just saved Trudy because you're like, I don't want this fucking guilt that she's putting on me every day.
Yeah.
In fact, it's for me and Trudy. You're right. She would have to save me, but then I would be like, I wish she had saved Trudy.
And she'd be like, "Yeah, me too."
Yeah, me too. But society makes me care about you more than my dog.
Yeah.
She doesn't like when I call our dog the dog. Like she's like, don't say that. It's
That's
like, oh,
Trudy.
the dog's outside. Oh, don't call her the dog. That's like a slur to her.
How old is Trudy?
Like 8, I think. We don't really know.
Oh.
So, those rescue places fucking lie their asses off. Like, oh yeah, she's just 1.5 or 2. Like they've had her for like 6 years.
Yeah.
She's like on her way to the gas chamber or whatever. And like, oh, you want her? Yeah, she just came in. It's just a
How
puppy.
did that puppy get in that line?
Hey, you come back here, you little pup. So
Uh,
I guess going off of what they said, she's like 8.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm backing
Well,
you
it
up.
sounds like you're not backing me up.
No, I am. I'm
Oh,
backing
okay.
you up. You should be allowed, as long as you're not, everyone should be able to be into what they want to be in. I don't like being like, I love dogs. I love my dog, but like, you shouldn't have to. And you know what? I say I love dogs. I like my dog. I love
That's
my,
what I was gonna say. Me too.
I'm not like obsessed. I think you're right. It's embarrassing when you go to parties and someone's on the ground fucking with some stranger dog.
Yeah.
Just get a personality.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Be the fedora guy.
Be a fedora guy. There you
Yeah.
go.
All right.
That's
What do you need backup?
fedora.
Now that's what I need backup on.
That's what I
Whatever.
back up on. It's like, hey, should I wear a fedora? Can you imagine? If I just wore one on the podcast, like you would just say something immediately.
Can I?
There'd be
Yeah.
no lead time. There
Can
is
I? Can I be honest with you? I'm gonna pull this up right now just to show how accurate it is. Unlock, open browser, tabs. Because I thought about that. Sorry, look.
narrate every step it takes you to get to this.
It's
You
an Indiana Jones hat. It looks so cool. It would be like my dad hat that I would wear when we're on vacation, and I'm not gonna bump into anyone I would ever know. It's so cool. But I would never in a million years wear it in front of anyone outside of my children and wife.
feel like you wearing that hat with the ponytail coming out the back is like a Tim Robinson character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Right
should
now I do have like a dad hat. It's like a sun. It's like a fedora. It's like a
call
white
the floppy
straw one.
flops.
No, not the it's like a fedora, but it's like the hand stitched one
Yeah, that's
that you
better.
get.
Get away with that more, especially in the
But
summer.
I look,
There's a little
yeah,
more acceptance for that. My grandpa used to wear those hats. I respect those. Get that. Get more of those. You don't need the fedora. You're
I
not.
look like the guy in at the end of what is it? Monkey. What's the Bruce Willis 12 Monkeys?
Uh,
Remember that the guy, the ponytail, he's got the hat.
yes. The ponytail at the back of a hat like changes every hat.
I know.
Like it makes every like a baseball hat. All the looks are like so different when you got the ponytail coming out the back.
I know. I feel like if I did get the Indiana Jones hat, I'd have to get a haircut.
No problem.
Yeah.
Did you see the new Indiana Jones?
Huh?
Have you seen the new one?
Yeah, did we talk about it?
I don't think so.
Oh,
We,
I it was fun, but yeah, I don't know.
not
I
great.
liked it and I'll see it again, but it just seemed like someone else made it. And then I found out someone else did make it. Like that was like the first one not directed by uh George Lucas or Spielberg or whoever did all of them.
Okay.
But it was just there was less
But did
action.
they CGI his face and stuff?
Yeah, and that looked decent. I mean, it was different, but I like that. It was a cool part of it. Like the opening scene is the younger one, like from a time ago, and that was exciting and fun.
Okay. Well, I'm curious to see it, but
Yeah, you gotta see it.
I'm here with my dad in Palm Springs. Like, we should go see this movie, and then it's like 4:30, and we both want to die from working on this house, and nobody wants to go to the.
Yeah, but it'd be air conditioned. That'd be a good get an air conditioned big Coke,
I mean,
Diet Coke.
I literally think he goes back. He drops me off at this hotel, and then he just goes to bed. I mean,
Uh,
anyway.
but where is he? Is he in the house?
At the house, there's one habitable room left. And then they were like, kind of, I think my mom was like, well, you guys could just share the room. I was like, I'm not sleeping on the same queen bed as my father. I am 38, about to be 39 years old. Those
When's your birthday?
October 4th. So not about, but close. It's coming up. I say about to, as a favor to my wife because my wife is currently 39 and I don't like to
You
play.
want to be close in age?
Yeah, we're different generations, but I try to make it seem like the same.
Sure.
So I
Sure.
try.
All right. Well, what do you need backup on?
Okay, and if I've said this one already, please just interrupt me right away, and we'll just close the show or talk about something else because I'm very self-conscious about this. But so you're a big music guy, right?
Yep.
You love songs. Hey, one thing I know about Johnny, he loves songs in Fedora.
Oh, they call me Songman Beaner.
Song man Beaner. And So when you listen to a great song, but then on the radio, they usually just cut it off before the actual. You never like hear the like real end. Like they'll fade it
Because
out.
the DJ talks over the end.
Yeah, the DJ talks over the end, or they just they don't have time to play the whole cut.
Yep.
And then even on like sometimes playlists, I don't know, they'll DJs will chop them up, be like,
Yeah.
but when you listen to an actual full song on an album,
Yeah.
lots of times the way they end is they just sort of like get to a fun little lick and then they just sort of keep doing that over and repeating that and then it just fades out.
Right.
It never actually ends.
Right.
They just slowly turn down the volume. And I think that is a cop out. That's bullshit. If you want to be a great song, you have to write it has to end. It's like,
yeah, that's a good point. Like on the album, it has to have an ending
it's
because they end it. When they play it live, they obviously wrap it up somehow.
yeah, exactly. If it's totally cheating, it's like, wow, this song's fun. This is a cool part. I don't really know. How should we end it? I don't know. And somebody at some point probably had the idea of like, what if we just kept playing it into infinity and just slowly turn down the volume so we don't have to think of an ending? And now, like, that's almost half the songs do that.
All right, you know what?
Think of your favorite song and then
I'm gonna pull one
fast
up.
forward to the end.
This is gonna be this will be our example. Here you go. Ready? Let me pull it. Okay, this is Billy Joel, River of Dreams. I gotta skip to the end. Here's the last 15 seconds.
Okay. I hear nothing.
That's about where it started to fade. All right, we'll do with the last 30 seconds. Okay, listen.
I don't think it's coming through the mic. You have it, your audio turned up? You're nodding your head. None of this is coming through.
It's one of those stupid settings on Zoom where it cancels out outside noise. Thanks, Zoom, you fucking asshole.
Good job, Zoom, you piece of shit. Fucking
fucking garbage asshole shitbag.
App.
Ugh.
Trying to prove a point about fading out audio. Anyway,
yeah.
but you understand what I'm saying. Of course, a lot of songs do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's cheating. It's cheating. If you can't think of a great ending to a joke or a story that needs like a punchline at the end, you can't just fucking slowly stop, pull the mic away until no one can hear you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree. And it's funny because I've thought about that and I wonder what the reason is. Like, how do they decide which ones?
It's the ones
out?
They don't have a good, you know what I mean? They're like, how do we end the song? I don't know.
Yeah, because then when you hear it in concert, it's like it just kind of ends abruptly. They pick one of those things that repeats and they just boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Okay, so I posted this thought, and then some people were not agreeing with me, and one person at least gave a song that they thought like, how dare you? This guy, Ghosts Watcher in the Sky, has a killer A-side ending fade out. It's way better than the live ending they came up with. Which my answer would be, no, it's not. I don't know what Watcher in the Sky or Ghost is, but how could the fade out be better than the actual ending? The actual ending at least is an attempt. It's an effort. The fade out is.
I don't know.
And then this person said wrong, and then said A Tribe Called Quest, Electric Relaxation, which I'm sure is a great song. I have no doubt that the song itself is great, but the fading, and I love how they're like, oh, it's a great fade out. Oh, what was the artistic part? That just how long it took to fade out? Like, this fades out 30 seconds.
What a
Oh,
great
no. I
fade
think it
out.
should be 35 seconds. Like, who gives a fuck? It's a fade out. It's not, there's nothing like interesting about it.
Yeah. They should suck your ass.
Everyone should suck my ass.
Yeah, there you go.
In our new podcast.
You can tell I'm backing you up. Yeah. Suck our asses with Johnny and Andrew.
Check this out. Suck my ass. Johnny and Andrew show.
Yeah.
All right.
Whew. Hey, I got a quick question for you. Our Prius has a nail in the tire, so it's slowly leaking, but we're pretty busy. And how do you get that fixed?
Jiffy Lube will do it, or not Jiffy Lube. Les Schwab will do it for free.
Who's Les Schwab?
Tire place.
Les Schwab?
Les, LES space SC. You never heard of Les
I
Schwab?
thought that was an insurance place, like Schwab.
That's Charles
Schwab.
Schwab, and that's finance.
Charles Schwab, finance, the finance place.
Whatever, it's all the same to you. Let me see if they have one near you. Les,
Madison, Wisconsin. Like, would a Valvoline do that or no? They don't do tire shit, right?
well,
they rotate tires.
maybe.
But the nail is like in the middle of the tread. So
any tire place should do it for free.
Okay.
I would just take it to a tire shop. There's a maybe is this a Northwest type of store? This is interesting.
I've never heard of Les Schwab.
You never heard of Les Schwab?
We have a more Schwab.
What's your zip code?
Is that hilarious? What I said?
I was looking at this. You're so stupid.
537. Oh, I don't know if I want the let's save it for the Patreon. 53719.
To know your zip code. Who gives a shit? They know
if a listener steals my credit card. 53719.
53719. Does Johnny have a Les Schwab near his house? No, you don't have them. You're right. Just look up a tire store, specifically a tire store near you, and I bet they'll repair it for free. Because they do that because it's so easy for them, and then they want to like earn your business in the future, I think.
Yeah, all right. Costco said, we'll do it for, I told them that we bought the tires there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, is it a Costco tire? And I said, yeah. And he's like, yeah, we'll do it for free. And I was like, oh, okay. It's a Goodyear. And he was like, Goodyear? I don't think we sell those. Wow, I wonder if we stopped selling those. And I was like, ooh, I'm already busted.
Well, just go anyway. How are they going to prove that you're not going to?
Well, by saying we've never sold this brand.
Well, I'll be like, you used to sell them, you piece of shit. Suck my ass.
Yeah, suck Andrew's ass.
Suck my ass. Change it for free.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are you plugging?
Laughs in Seattle, August 25th and the 26th, maybe that somewhere around there, that weekend. August, 25th and 26th. Laughs Comedy Club in Seattle. Come see me in Seattle. There you go.
All right. Madison. I was just at the Comedy on State by the time you hear this, but if you missed it, I'll be at the Burr Oak on Wednesday, the 9th of August, and I'll be back at Comedy on State for the Best of the Fest Saturday, August 12th, the 10 p.m. show for Madison Comedy Week.
All right. Well,
2 more chances to see me in Madison.
And hey, Les Schwab, open a store in Madison, Wisconsin. What are you guys waiting for?
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you, everybody, for listening to
The Cavalry.